This is the Equatorial broadcast. I'm Michael Arden. It's Monday, March 2nd, 2026. We begin with a developing situation in the Middle East. U.S. officials say American forces have destroyed or sunk 9 Iranian naval vessels as part of an expanded military campaign targeting Iranian military infrastructure. The reported strikes follow several days of escalating exchanges involving missile, drone, and air operations across the region. Joining me is Claire Whitfield.
The reported naval losses mark one of the most significant maritime confrontations between the United States and Iran in recent years. U.S. officials described the strikes as a coordinated effort to degrade Iran's naval and missile capabilities. Iranian authorities acknowledge damage to facilities, but dispute the scale of vessel losses and warn of further retaliation.
For the latest confirmed developments, we turn to Jackson Hart.
According to public statements from President Donald Trump and senior defense officials, U.S. forces have destroyed and sunk 9 Iranian naval vessels. Officials say at least one of the ships struck is a Jamaran-class warship operating in the Gulf of Oman. Satellite imagery reviewed by Reuters and analyzed by independent open-source intelligence researchers shows extensive damage at Iranian naval facilities along the southern coast. The imagery includes vessels partially submerged at dock and visible structural damage to piers and support infrastructure. Analysts say the evidence is consistent with multiple ships having been struck either in port or in nearby waters. U.S. officials described the strikes as part of Operation Epic Fury, an expanded campaign that began after Iranian and Iran-aligned forces launched attacks on U.S. and allied positions earlier this week. Defense officials say the objective is to reduce Iran's capacity to project force at sea and to launch missile or drone attacks against U.S. personnel and regional partners. Iranian state-aligned media have acknowledged damage but dispute the number of vessels lost. Officials in Tehran characterize the strikes as escalation and have indicated that additional responses are under consideration. At this stage, independently verifiable evidence confirms significant damage to Iranian naval infrastructure. The precise number of ships destroyed remains based primarily on U.S. official statements. I'm Jackson Hart, reporting on the recent developments.
For broader regional implications, we turn to international correspondent Sofia Delacruz.
The maritime dimension of this confrontation carries implications beyond the immediate military balance. The affected naval facilities lie near routes that feed into the Strait of Hormuz, a strategic choke point through which roughly 1/5 of the world's traded oil passes, according to data from the U.S. Energy Information Administration. Energy markets reacted cautiously in early trading, with benchmark crude prices rising amid concerns about potential disruption to shipping lanes. Regional governments, including those in the Gulf Cooperation Council, are closely monitoring maritime security conditions. Diplomatic channels remain open, according to officials in several European capitals, though no formal de-escalation framework has been announced. Analysts note that while naval losses are significant, Iran retains missile forces and allied militias capable of operating across multiple theaters. For the Equatorial broadcast, I'm Sofia Delacruz.
And for what is known about U.S. forces and deployments, we turn to Daniel Price in Washington. United States defense officials confirm that American forces have sustained casualties during the broader confrontation, including 3 service members killed and others seriously wounded in recent operations. However, officials strongly dispute Iranian claims that U.S. bases or naval installations have been destroyed. Statements from U.S. Central Command indicate that American facilities remain operational. Independent satellite analysis has not shown evidence of sunken U.S. warships or destroyed bases. The Pentagon also confirms that a carrier strike group and additional long-range bomber assets have been positioned in the region in recent days as a deterrent measure. Officials describe these deployments as precautionary and defensive in nature. Military analysts caution that while the destruction of several Iranian naval vessels alters the immediate maritime balance, the broader strategic picture remains fluid. The risk of further escalation persists, particularly if additional retaliatory strikes occur. For the Equatorial broadcast, I'm Daniel Price in Washington. Claire, this appears to be a moment of elevated tension, though not yet a declared wider war.
That is correct, Michael. What distinguishes this phase is the scale of reported maritime losses and the visible damage confirmed by satellite imagery. At the same time, both governments continue to frame their actions as defensive or retaliatory. The coming days will likely determine whether this confrontation stabilizes or broadens.
We will continue to monitor developments and provide updates as more verified information becomes available. The Equatorial broadcast is produced with support from Cauci Amazon Jungle Lodge, with guided rainforest expeditions operated by Cauci Amazon Jungle Tours in Peru. This is the Equatorial broadcast. I'm Michael Arden.